Hello, and hello, summer. There's a lot of theater to experience if you're not on a family getaway or at a pool party or enjoying a barbecue. Speaking of a barbecue, we had our membership summer barbecue last month, and it was great to get together with friends we haven't seen in over a year. Some of us even hugged. Thanks to Annalisa, Ashley, Dean, Mariah, Spencer, and all those who helped with the setup and the cleanup. And thanks to all the members who brought a potluck dish. It was a really fun afternoon. If you'd like to join us for our next member event, then just go to our website and become a member, and you'll get the invite. In fact, everything I'm going to talk to you about today can be found on our website, either on the slide bar at the top or down further on the homepage. For instance, you can buy tickets to our first virtual Yes Show this weekend. It's called Now Hear This, produced by Yes veterans Ruby Laprie and Sebastian Blue, and directed by Ann Gessling. It tells the story of 8 friends who go through their lives and reflect on what events in their past make each of them individuals now. They cover life stories that discuss everything from dinosaurs to death, from hoarding to being gay. They eventually settle on the idea that they should focus on the present. That is the Now Hear This. This show is not on demand. There are only 4 performances, 8 p.m. this Friday and Saturday, and a 2 p.m. matinee on Saturday and Sunday. This was a first for the Morgan-Wixson, shooting each actor separately on green screen and then editing all the parts together. Please don't miss this fantastic production. Ticket links are on our website. Another ticket link on our website is for Chance Theater's virtual production of Sweat. We partnered with the Orange County Chance Theater in this endeavor. You can watch the play virtually through July 18th. Then see what it looks like live on stage this winter when Sweat opens our 76th season. This powerful production is another show you don't want to miss. Catch the virtual show by purchasing tickets on their website. We have a link to their website on our website. And as if that's not enough, we have one more virtual offering for you. Mommy Monster is the last of our solo stories. These last 5 one-woman shows have been extraordinary, and this final show will not disappoint. April Wish's solo show is shrouded in dandelions, smothered in butterfly kisses, and buried in laundry. Written while parenting through the pandemic, the work explores the complexities of sibling relationships and the impossibility of perfection while asking, how do you raise a good, kind, gentle boy in a world, in a country that isn't always good or kind and is never gentle? I've been so drawn to these one-woman shows, and I've loved hearing the very different journeys of very different women in entertaining and moving ways. Don't miss this last solo story on July 18th. A big thank you to Mariah Booth Ong for curating these powerful stories. Next up, Mariah is heading our search for the New Works Festival. We had 97 submissions. And we have a team of committee members reading each and every one of them. The committee is going to choose 5 pieces to be workshopped over 5 weekends on our stage this September and October. I don't know how they're going to choose. There are so many great scripts. More details to come. Oh, before I get ahead of myself in the calendar, don't forget to join us for our next coffee table community discussion on July 29th. When the subject is Queering the Space, Gender Expression in Theater and Film. This month's panel includes Cece Suazo and Timoteo Eme. Reminder that these discussions are free to all who wish to join us. While we'd love to have you with us live, if you miss any of them, check them out on our YouTube channel. This month's featured committee is the Director Selection Committee. Once the board chooses the next season, like we're doing later this month, the Director Selection Committee starts looking for the right director for each show. It's a process of putting the word out, calling some of our past directors, and looking for new voices. The Director Selection Committee then brings several directors for each show into a special board meeting to be interviewed by the entire board. From these folks, we choose the director of each show. If you're interested in joining this important committee, reach out to one of the two co-chairs, Larry Gessling or Mark Antonio Pritchett. I can't believe we are halfway through the year already. Before you know it, it'll be time for the New Works Festival, the Youth Musical, and the Jeffries. And then, time for the board elections. Our virtual doors are open, and the lobby doors of the Morgan-Wixson will open soon. So come join us for all we have to offer. I finished today with a little more about our 75-year history. In the early years of our organization, a musical melodrama titled The Romance of Scarlet Gulch was produced 3 years in a row, and then again whenever the theater needed to raise funds. It was a local hit, and written by founding member Carol Chrysler. In the 1949 version, the future James Dean, who at the time used the stage name Byron James, played the town drunkard. He did this while studying at Santa Monica College. This was just before he was cast in Rebel Without a Cause. In 1954, on the advice of her agent, Ann B. Davis auditioned and was cast as the razor-tongued old woman in Silver Whistle. She was also cast in A Phoenix Too Frequent, for which she won a Jeffrey later that year. A year after that, she would be starring on television with Robert Cummings as the very funny Schultzy. She would go on to play that lovable member of the Brady clan, Alice, in the Brady Bunch. That same year, a blonde, lanky comedienne named Barbara Heller had them rolling in the aisles as she clowned, vamped, and lampooned her way through the role of Babe O'Day in Good News. She won the Jeffrey that year for Best Supporting Actress. A few years later, she would begin working in television and was seen on the small screen for the next 20 years. Actor Kevin Hagen, then known as Donald Hagen, won acclaim on our stage in Judgment Day, before going on to television shows like The Rifleman, and later found fame as Dr. Hiram Baker in Little House on the Prairie. As I mentioned last month, Carol Burnett alum Harvey Korman won rave reviews for his portrayal of Hamlet on the Morgan stage. Before Dick Sargent played the second Darren Stevens on Bewitched, he played Biff in the Morgan Theater's production of Death of a Salesman. Then, of course, there's the woman who's helped start the Santa Monica Theater Guild, Grace Godino, who did shows at the Miles Playhouse with Glenn Ford in the early days of the Guild. Her day job was in the ink and paint department of the Walt Disney Company. She started when they needed artists to finish Snow White and stayed with the company for many years after that. Not only as an inker, but she also modeled for the cartoon artists, most famously for Madame Bonfamille in The Aristocrats. Grace went on to be Rita Hayworth's stand-in in many of her films. She was a longtime board member, held almost every position on the executive committee at one time or the other. She won multiple Jeffreys for her performances and also directed shows at the theater. The Godino Award for Service is named in her parents' honor. Honor. 1956 was a big year for the Guild. Charter members of the organization had a cake-cutting ceremony to celebrate their 10th anniversary. They produced Green Grows the Lilacs, which became the basis for Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma, with the delightful Alice Lunsford, who can still tell you stories about that show. And the Santa Monica Theater Guild produced their 100th production, The Tinder Trap. The Santa Monica Theater Guild produced a steady slate of shows, and the shows they produced were much acclaimed. Los Angeles area newspapers regularly reviewed the shows at the Morgan Theater, and gave them much praise. During these early days, the Morgan Theater was a training ground for young actors who would go on to find fame or work in Hollywood. The theater participated in Symphonies by the Sea and the annual Santa Monica Dias de Oro. The Guild competed and won regional one-act tournaments, and they started teaching classes under the name Theater Lab. They produced new works and old classics, everything from Shakespeare to favorites of the day like musicals Good News and Girl Crazy, and dramas and comedies like Of Mice and Men, Picnic, 12 Angry Men, You Can't Take It With You, and Death of a Salesman. We don't have a lot of photos of the interior, but we do catch a glimpse of the old Morgan Theater in a TV show of the early 60s.
I really thought it was Friday.
In October 1961, the interior of the Morgan Theater was used in an episode of Dr. Kildare. Episode 3, entitled A Shining Image, which guest starred a young Suzanne Plachette, who is told by Dr. Kildare that she has an incurable disease and only has 2 weeks to live. Must have been very dramatic and an exciting episode. In one scene, you can see the stage and the audience area of the old Morgan Theater, but not much more of the interior exists in our archives. 1962 was another winning season for the Santa Monica Theater Guild and the Morgan Theater. In December of that year, they handed out the Jeffrey Awards for Excellence at their annual holiday party. They took this photo of members in front of the building. It's a rare and the only photo we have of the exterior of the Morgan Theater at 5th and Ocean Park. I think it's a really great photo, and we're going to pick up there next month. Until then, get vaccinated if you haven't, wear masks when you're asked, and check out all the theater we have to offer this summer. Links for everything are on our website. See you in August. Have a great July.